I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from their claw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
It's time!
You're listening to the Cage Nation TV Prize Fight Podcast. Coming to you from the Coastal Cameron Studios in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Are you ready?
Here's your host, the big fella, Albert Cameron.
Let's get it on!
Thank you for joining us for the Prize Fight Podcast. I'm your host, the big fella, Mr. Albert Cameron. And last week was easily one of the coolest fights I've ever got to see live in person. Again, a big thank you to Next Level Fight Club for having me in attendance for Next Level Fight Club 6. If you remember anything from that bout, if you remember anything that I told you about that bout, I told you about how explosive the main event was. It was a title fight between Chase Gamble, coach, and the heavyweight champion for Next Level Fight Club, Mr. Alan Crowder. Now, Mr. Alan Crowder, as dangerous as he is, as such a complete warrior that he is, as much of a combatant and gladiator that you would want a heavyweight champion to be, he's also one of the nicest individuals, and he has agreed to be on the Prize Fight Podcast today with me, the big fella. So this episode is a complete dedication to Alan Crowder and his complete victory. Alan's going to talk about preparing for a different opponent, what that opponent was going to bring to him as far as challenges go, being told that, he was getting a new opponent, how much his opponent weighed in overweight, and he's going to tell us about what led to that highlight reel slam, where he's going in the future. I'm so excited to have Mr. Alan Crowder on the Prize Fight Podcast today. Before we get into that, we're going to hear some messages, and then when we come back, the pretty boy, Alan Crowder, on the Prize Fight Podcast. Don't go nowhere. Cage Nation TV is looking for bloggers and news contributors to help expand our reach into new markets. We're looking for writers to cover boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, traditional martial arts, wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and mixed martial arts. If you're interested in this completely volunteer, unpaid opportunity, visit www.cagenationtv.com/opportunities or email a writing sample to cagenationtv@gmail.com. We're looking for folks with genuine enthusiasm for the combat sports who enjoy sharing their opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the Prize Fight Podcast. I have a very special guest today, Next Level Fight Club heavyweight champion. He's the pretty boy, Mr. Alan Crowder. Alan, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Having some breakfast. Doing good.
Oh, fantastic. Now, you have all seen the internet coverage. It's been covered by Bleacher Report, couple different sports outlets. The man I'm talking to right now finished his last fight in Raleigh, North Carolina, by devastating slam. But as impressive as that is, there's a lot more that goes into that story, and Alan's agreed to come on the podcast and tell us about it. Alan, you initially agreed to fight Richard White in defense of your heavyweight championship, and you spent your entire training camp training for Richard White. Now, he's a big boy, Bellator veteran.
Yeah, well,
How were you?
Another guy.
Oh, really?
Go
on. Well, Richard's a very big boy, Bellator veteran. What was you preparing for, knowing that Richard White does have submission skill, but so do you? What were the X factors you were preparing for?
I saw that he was left-handed, so I was preparing for a left-handed fighter. I knew he was a bigger guy. I didn't expect him to come as overweight as he was. Focused on using my speed again, planning on keeping the fight steady. Against corner, he would go and try to take it down to the ground. Just using my jab and keeping them back and then going for the knockout punch. So it was whenever, I got to accept the fight, 12 hours notice. I had to change my whole game plan all the way around. Obviously Chase is a right-handed fighter. And he's also, a lot quicker and a lot better shape. I like fighting heavyweight 'cause I'm always a faster guy, and then when I fought Chase, it's a little bit different. But, it turned out well.
Okay, well, let's talk about how much overweight Richard White came in. The heavyweight weight limit is 265. From what I understand, he came in over 300.
He came over 316 pounds. Like, I don't understand. Lamont Chappell, he's the guy that, runs the show. he called him 2 weeks before the fight, and he knew he was going to be a little overweight. He said, "Hey, are you close to making weight?" And he told him he was 10 pounds overweight, 52 pounds over.
316 pounds.
Yes,
Now, what I also heard was that the heavyweight champion, the pretty boy Alan Crowder, was still going to fight him if North Carolina would have allowed it.
Yeah, I didn't care about his weight. Weighing that much to get a bigger cut of his purse, so it's more money in my pocket. And then I knew I was going to be a lot faster than him. And then I knew after a minute he was going to be, gassed out tired, and I'd be able to pick him apart, easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Alan, just as a side note, do you think he could have lifted Richard White off the ground like Chase Gamble ended up getting? I'm kind of curious. Like, that was such an impressive finish. Like, what was the plan to finish the fight with Richard White?
I could have picked him up as easily. I know I could pick him up. I've been lifting, for years, and I ground, but it probably wouldn't have been as impressive. I probably would have broke the ring when he landed and hit the mat. But other than that, I'm quite as high as I had Chase.
Fantastic. Well, I did the math on it, Alan. If North Carolina would have let the fight go through, you would have been giving up 70 pounds more than 70 pounds in that fight, and you were still willing to fight. That's absolutely incredible. That's fortitude.
That's the name of this game, though. In this sport, you got to take a couple chances, and in my weight class, 70 pounds. Like if it was opposite way, like I was 240 and I was fighting somebody 170, that'd be a little more dangerous. But I'm already on the top end. That big, they're not going to be in great shape. And then it wasn't like he was 7 foot tall. So
yeah. So Richard White comes in overweight on Friday. North Carolina says, absolutely not. We're not letting this fight continue. At 6 o'clock in the morning, you still didn't have an opponent. Chase Gamble agrees to fight around 7. How did you react when you got the news that you had an opponent that was signed?
Chris Connor, he's a matchmaker. He called me or texted me all night, different opponents and stuff, and I told him yes to all of them. Well, then, a couple different guys wanted the blood work wasn't done. They actually sent in another guy, I think his name was Ray from Indiana, lost his last couple fights, so they wouldn't allow the fight. They wouldn't allow the fight without him having an extra medical exam. So Chase wound up taking, I don't know exactly what time. I texted him at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he told me that Chase Gamble accepted the fight. So it wound up working out good.
Now, you'd prepared for a guy who's much slower, perhaps a little more heavy-handed. So as far as Chase Gamble not being able to prepare for you, you weren't able to prepare for him. You had 12 hours before fight time. What was the process in your head getting ready for a title defense, especially from a guy who was a champion himself?
Yeah. Well, after weigh-ins, I went in, I watched a couple of his videos of, of his newer fights and stuff. And I saw that his last fight before mine, he stood up a little bit. So I knew he might try to stand up a little bit, and then, just kind of see what happened, fill it out.
Chase Gamble is known for his incredible. Exactly. Chase Gamble is known for his grappling. When I was asking people around the crowd, hey, what can you tell me about Chase Gamble? Because I didn't have time to prepare for him. And they're telling me that, he's an incredible grappler. But Alan Crowder also has really impressive grappling as well. I've seen you pull out some really impressive submissions. How do you prepare to keep a guy sitting on his feet knowing that he's going to rely on the muscle memory for his ground game?
Yeah. Well, see, I knew he was a good wrestler, and but I knew I had a little weight advantage on him. I didn't really care if it went to the ground. I'm not great at that, good at everything, so I try to keep it. It didn't really matter if it went to the ground, to stay standing. It didn't really matter to me.
Exactly. So getting into the fight, as a fight fan myself, Alan, that was exactly the kind of fight I wanted to see. It was a title fight. Normally when you get last minute replacements like that, it's easy to walk through a guy, but Alan Crowder accepted the challenge. Now, what are the thoughts going into the fight? Were you planning on ending it early? Were you planning on trying to go the distance, kind of gauge him out? There was a little bit of a feeling out period. What's going through your mind as the fight's progressing?
Yeah, I was prepared to go the distance. I knew he was a faster guy. I knew it'd been a lot harder to get a hold of him like I wanted to. It messed me up. I don't know if you heard they run the 10-second bell, at the 3-minute mark instead of the 5-minute mark. Mm-hmm. So I was sitting there waiting on the 10 seconds to end up because he had me on the ground. He had me in I just got out of the guillotine. So I was waiting. I was like, well, I'm standing back up. I'll go out in the second round and do my thing. So I was sitting there waiting. about a minute went by. I was like, man, this is the longest 10 seconds I've ever had. I was like, I know I'm in better shape than this. And then he went for that dart stroke, and whenever he about had that, I was like, man, I can't mess around no more. So I rolled over, and as I was coming up to my feet, I saw his leg right there in front of me, and I was like, well, let's take him for a little ride. Worked out, and I slammed him. And whenever I slammed him, I didn't realize how hard I slammed him. You know what I mean? And I guess he was already knocked out from the slam. Well, I punched this and switched over and threw one more hammer fist, and then the referee stopped the fight.
I was probably 3 feet away from where Chase Gamble hit the mat. And when you walk into the fight, champ, I mean, it's easy to see you're this big, imposing, very impressive dude to see. And this guy hit the mat. I mean, I really felt like I was watching a car accident. Like the way his head just hit the mat.
Yeah, it looked pretty.
But what I think impressed me the most was like you and your camp.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad.
It looked nasty.
Yeah, it definitely did. Yeah, I checked on the next day.
Like if you're listening at home right now and you
do it now.
That's what I was gonna say. Like you and your camp made sure he was okay. Like there was no celebration until you guys made sure that Chase Gamble was on his feet, and that really impressed me.
Well, you know, I mean, if I had knocked him out in my head, I've been knocked out myself. You know what I mean? I know it's like getting knocked out. But then, you know, right after I slammed him, I saw the highlight, and I was like, man, I slammed him pretty hard. You know what I mean? I was like, man, that might be a bad situation. He wasn't moving at all by the time I had walked around the ring. You know, so I want to go over there and make sure, you know, he was all right and stuff first. And he took the final 12 hours notice, and he bumped up in weight class. And, you know, I got a lot of respect for the guy. I had, you know, 150 of my close friends and family there, and I didn't want to sit there and disappoint them. You know what I mean? But I had nobody fighting, and he wound up stepping up, taking the plate, you know, so.
Absolutely. I mean, Alan Crowder definitely had a big fan base there last night. And just seeing, like, replaying his head hitting the cage, I mean, it was really something to see. If you have not seen Alan Crowder versus Chase Gamble, you definitely want to go on to flowcombat.com. Do yourself a favor, watch the entire fight, and you're going to see exactly what Alan said. Now, Alan, super impressive title victory. Who would you like to fight next to defend your Next Level Fight Club championship against? Do you have anyone in mind?
I want to fight somebody. I want somebody that's really going to test my skill to the next level. I want to go to UFC or Bellator. You know, that's my main goal. You know, is to make it on up to the next level. So really, this is best around. You know what I mean? Whoever wants my title and you know wants to come try to take it from me, I'll fight whoever. You know, that's trying to need another. I feel like I'm one more win away, and then I'll get the shot I want. You know, I'd really like a race back in April of last year, and then a couple of the reports I've read, that news articles and stuff, you know, it talked about how he beat me and stuff, and I'd really like a rematch with him. UFC now, so I got to wait until I get there, I reckon.
Absolutely. Now, Alan, because so many people got a hold of this, of your slam, of your fight, have you had people reaching out to you from bigger fight promotions to say, hey, we need to capitalize on this?
I haven't heard anything yet. You know, I've been waiting. I'd love to hear something, you know what I mean? But I haven't gotten no news yet, which has only been a week too, you know. But you know, we'll see what happens.
If you don't, from what I saw, it's just a matter of time before you're in the UFC. I mean, the UFC heavyweight division could certainly use some young blood, especially like an Alan Crowder. Would you consider Bellator in the interim?
Oh yeah, I've got to either one. I mean, both of them are live on TV. You know, I mean, I just want, you know, an opportunity to fight the best opponents around, and, you know, just, you know, test my skills every day. I enjoy it, you know what I mean? Like, it keeps you in shape, you know what I mean? It's great cardio. Just the training alone, you know, even, you know, martial arts, you know, you got jiu-jitsu, and there's so many different little aspects of that, and then, you know, boxing, kickboxing, and, you know, all these things that it's so much to learn, you know?
Absolutely. Now, Alan, I also could tell from the fight that you guys the Crowder family is very, very big into supporting you. What did your mom and dad say after they saw the slam? I mean, what was their initial impression?
You know, my dad, you know, he's very supportive of my fight. He actually pushes my cardio, you know, about every morning. You know, he has his own fitness facility that we train out of. You know, he's very supportive behind it. My mom, you know, she didn't like my first couple of fights. You know, she's really came along. You know, I usually win, so you know, she came along and she's really starting to enjoy it now. But as far as the slam goes, you know, they say good job. They're happy I won. They're happy I got in the first round, and you know, safe and whatnot.
Absolutely, that's what your parents are there for. All right, Alan, thank you so much for joining us on the Prizefight podcast. I mean, you're such an incredible talent. Like, definitely wanted to get the folks who are from where I'm at to certainly get your name on their radar, because I'm certain you're going to be doing huge things. I mean, I'm looking forward to your next level title defense. I'm looking forward to when you go on to bigger and better things. Without a doubt, you're heading that way. Thank you so much for joining on the Prizefight podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Alan Crowder. Make sure you check him out on YouTube, Flow Combat. You want to watch this guy. He's a heavyweight with heavy hands, and that's always exciting to fight. Alan, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And again, a big thank you to Mr. Alan Crowder for joining us on the Prizefight podcast this week. Check out flowcombat.com. I can sit and talk about that fight all day, but it's like looking at a picture of oxygen if you're drowning. It ain't going to do you any good. Check out flowcombat.com. Look at Next Level Fight Club 6. Check out the main event. Champion, the pretty boy, Alan Crowder versus Coach Chase Gamble. You'll thank me. Next week on the Prizefight podcast, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Pinnacle Boxing Championships. And I'm going to try my damnedest to talk to Mr. Dan Kukuda, the Bionic Fist of Justice. That's right. He's adding the world of boxing to his repertoire. He is a kickboxer and mixed martial artist. Dan Kukuda also talked about doing boxing this February in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, fights, Cameron, action.
Thank you for tuning in to the Cage Nation Prize Fight Podcast. All rights reserved. 2016 to 2017 Planet Aries Sports. The Prize Fight Podcast is part of the Cage Nation Broadcast Network. For more information, visit www.cagenationtv.com.